Hello, third graders. Today, your learning targets are: I can read the informational passage, population growth, to determine the main idea with supporting details. I can reference the text to answer text-dependent questions. And I can identify similarities and differences of main idea and supporting details between two informational texts. Today, you will read and answer questions using the text population growth. You will also find similarities and differences of main ideas and supporting details between two informational texts. You will need today the population growth text. You may also want access to fresh water from the previous days in case you need it. You will need your journal pages 1, 2, and 3, and you'll need a pencil. First, let's read about it. Let's read population growth. Population growth. If you live in a major city, you see the effects of population growth every day. When more people move into an area, a whole slew of support facilities must be built. Housing developments, roads, shopping areas, and commercial and industrial facilities. Not only is land disturbed when development occurs, but the stress on the water resources of the region is increased to supply everyone with water. Now that we've read the text, let's think. The main ideas are the big points that the author wants you to understand from reading. Now think about these questions. What is the main idea of the text population growth? What detail did you find to support the main idea? Pause the video now and think about it. Remember, you can go back and look at the text. Now that you've thought about it, let's talk about it. With a family member or friend, talk about the same questions. What is the main idea of the text population growth? What detail did you find to support the main idea? Pause the video now and talk about it. Now, let's write about it. Using what you've thought about and talked about, in your journal, add at least one main idea or big idea the author wants you to know, and supporting detail from the text population growth. You can go back into the text if you need help. Before you pause the video to write about it, please make sure you come back to the video. We have more left in this lesson. Pause the video now and write about it. Now that you've written about the main idea and details, let's talk about these questions. With a family member or friend, talk about: what does the text say is an issue people are facing with population growth? How does the problem affect people? Pause the video now and talk about this with a family member or friend. Now let's record what you've talked about. In your journal on page 2, complete the research note catcher. On it, you will notice that the questions are what you just talked about. What is the issue people are facing with water? How does the problem affect people? And then you will notice you will be asked questions about the solution. What are some ways to solve it? And then, why is it important to solve this problem? When you're done, record the title and the author of the source you just read. Pause the video now and write about it. Like last time, come back to the video because there is more in this lesson. Now that you've written down those ideas, let's think about these things. Similarities are things that are the same. Differences are things that are not the same or different. Pause the video and talk about this question. What similarities and differences do you notice between access to fresh water and population growth? Focus on the main ideas. Use your journal pages from today's lesson and from lesson 17 to help you. Pause the video now and talk about this with a family member or friend. Now, it's time to write about it again. In your journal on page 3, identify the similarities and differences of the main ideas and supporting details. Use access to fresh water and population growth. This is the last activity of today's lesson. Thank you, third graders.